There's no denying that investing is one of the best ways to build true wealth. You can save money your entire life, but nothing beats the power of compounding interest returns that come through investing. Seriously, I'm talking historical returns of 10% or more, regardless of federal interest rates. So it's no longer a matter of should you or shouldn't you invest, but are you ready to start investing? In this episode, I'm sharing 6 signs you're ready to take your finances to the next level and start investing. Even if it's on a small scale, the power of investing is unmatched. Before I share the signs that you are ready to start investing, I want to spend a little more time stressing the impact that investing can have on your net worth over the long term. So let's take this example. A 25-year-old who contributes $300 a month until age 65 will have over $1 million in his or her retirement account. $860,000 of that would be compound interest. Okay, now let's take a 35-year-old. A 35-year-old making the same contribution of $300 a month until age 65 will have $440,000 in his or her retirement account, with only $332,000 of that being compound interest. Okay, so we went from starting at 25, having over $1 million, to starting at 35 and having under $500,000, just with the difference of 10 years. Okay, and then finally, a 45-year-old will have $177,000 by age 65, with only $105,000 of that being compound interest if they were making that same $300 a month contribution. Now, this is assuming a 8% rate of return, which, as I mentioned earlier, 10% is a little bit more accurate. But all that to say, moral of the story is the earlier you start investing, the more you will have over time and the less you will need to make an impact. Okay, so let me talk about that for a second. So the 25-year-old who starts contributing the $300 a month, or essentially investing that $300 a month, really doesn't need to do anything in excess of that $300 a month to hit that $1 million mark by age 65. Okay, so he or she can set the $300 a month and just let it ride out and have over $1 million. However, if a 35-year-old who's just starting out wants to have $1 million, they're going to need to contribute significantly more than $300 a month to get there. And that's just because that 10-year time difference impacts the power of compounding interest, compounding returns. So again, moral of the story is the earlier you start, the more you will have and the less you will need to make an impact. But that does not mean that you shouldn't get started right now. Like, let's forget about the past. Can't do anything about it. But you can start right now and give yourself as much time as possible to let your investments grow and make money off of their returns. All right, now that you know the power of investing, let's get into the signs that you're actually ready to start investing. First sign, you have paid off your debt or you have a plan to pay off your debt. Now, you may be thinking, well, if I invest now, the money that I earn from those investments can be used to pay off my debt later. And while that's not a bad way to think, I want you to picture it from the other side. If you have credit card debt and the interest rate on those credit cards is 20%, but you decide that you would rather invest instead of paying down those credit cards, your investments will yield an average return of 8 to 10%. So you're paying 20% in interest, but you're only gaining 8 to 10% in interest with your investments. So that means it's costing you more to put your money towards investments than paying off your debt. Okay? So when you think of it that way, it's more important to make sure that your high interest debt is paid off before you start investing. Otherwise, you'll essentially be losing money. And another thing to consider is that not every investment results in a gain. Yes, the average return over the long period of time is at 8 to 10% mark, but What if you absolutely need the money when the market is behind or in a slump? Not only did you lose that money that you could have put toward your debt, but you've also lost your investment should you decide to cash out. So the best way to go is to pay off your debt, or at least have a plan in place to pay off your debt before you aggressively start to invest. The next sign you're ready to start investing is you have an emergency fund. So what happens if you decide to invest your entire savings and then your car breaks down? You may be forced to use credit, which we want to avoid because of interest, especially when investing, or you may be forced to sell your investments to get that money back to fix your car. Not only would that mean potentially selling for a loss, it could also mean paying more in taxes, because if it's a short-term investment, you're paying more in taxes than a long-term investment, and you're skimping your future self of some valuable gains. So investments should not be looked at as cash, right? When your money is invested, consider it gone and unaccessible until you're ready to get your returns and cash that investment out, which could take years or decades. Okay, so instead, make sure you have a savings and liquid cash handy before you start investing. That way, you don't have to mess with your investments prematurely. So if you're not sure where to start when it comes to having an emergency fund or some form of savings before you start investing, I think a great starting point is 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. If something were to happen, if you were to lose your job, if you got sick, if your car broke down or it needed to be replaced, that 3 to 6 months worth of expense number, although it may seem high if you don't have anything saved yet, that should get you through some trying times. If something were to happen, that should cover you while you get through, so you don't have to worry about touching your investments. You don't have to worry about going back into credit card debt. The next sign you're ready to get started with investing is you are taking advantage of your employer's 401k match. So I've actually got some good news for you. If you are contributing to a retirement plan, which most people are, most millennials are automatically put in 401k or retirement plans, you are already investing. You are already an investor just for contributing to a retirement plan. So woohoo, give yourself a pat on the back. You're already an investor. And most companies offer some sort of match for anyone who does contribute to a 401k plan. So for example, if you contribute 5% to your company's 401k plan, they will match you 5%. Now, I've seen some companies go as high as 10 to 13%, which is amazing, but anything that you can get as far as a contribution match is free money, essentially. It's basically doubling your investment. So I want you to make sure that you're taking advantage of this before you take your own money and invest on your own. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Let's say that you are not contributing to your employer's 401k plan and you are putting $100 in just a regular investment account. That $100 could be used to contribute to your company's 401k plan, and then they match you $100 if it's an even match. So essentially, you'd be investing $200 through your company's retirement plan versus $100 on your own. So if you are not sure if your company matches or if you can contribute to a retirement plan, first check your pay stub, because if you were automatically enrolled in some sort of retirement plan, it'll be a line item under deductions on your pay stub. So start there. Another thing you can do is contact your HR department, or if your company has like an employee handbook, employee benefits information, all of that should let you know if a 401k or retirement plan is available to you and what any potential match would be. So my previous company, before I took City Girl Savings full time, they did a 5% match. So if I contributed 5%, they matched 5%, but then they also did a 3% annual contribution. So if I didn't take advantage of that 5% match, they would still do a 3% annual contribution. Now, I also want to just take this one step further and encourage you to research your retirement plan investments. So it's already an amazing step that you're contributing to the retirement plan, but your money is invested in something and you should know what that something is. So log on to your company's 401k website or retirement plan website and see what you're currently invested in. I'm not saying you have to do anything with that information, but it's always good to know. And then if you want to take it a step further, look at the different investment options that are available to you and read into them. Most retirement plans come with some sort of variety of investment options. And since you're already invested in something, this is usually a good place to start. Now, I actually wrote an entire article about how to research your retirement plan investment options for the City Girl Savings blog. I'm going to link to it in the show notes so that if you do want to take it upon yourself to look into those investments, you'll know what to look for. The next sign you're ready to get started with investing is you have already decided on your goals for investing. Okay, so we just talked about retirement as a form of investing, and you should already be saving for retirement. If not, make sure that's one of your long-term goals and start investing towards it now, okay? But let's assume that you're already doing that and now you're ready to get started with investing on your own. It's time to think about what you want out of your life. If you want to start investing, why do you want to start investing? And, to build wealth is a great reason or a great motivator, but I want you to get more specific. Are there certain goals you're trying to achieve in the future? If so, start by making a list of your long-term goals, when you want to achieve them, and how much you'll need to achieve those goals. Having this information handy will allow you to pick investments to help you reach your target goal amount by the target date you have. Now, I use Betterment as one of my investment platforms, and I love them. One thing that I really love about Betterment is they have a goal forecaster tool or feature. And basically, if you have the amount of the goal and when you want to achieve the goal by, it will tell you what you need to invest every month to reach the goal. And this can be super handy as you are getting into investing and get to the point where you start investing for multiple goals. So if you're not sure what investing goals are, or what you want your investing goals to be, I would say start with a build wealth goal and give yourself 10 years to invest towards that goal and see what happens. I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that just getting started, even if you're not specific on exactly what you want to invest for, is more important than not starting at all until you figure it out, right? So obviously life changes will happen and you can always adjust accordingly, but having a build wealth goal is a great place to start. But to give you some other ideas, like I mentioned, I use Betterment. I have a build wealth goal and it's super vague. It was the first investment goal that I set through Betterment just because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. But another goal I set up was a Palm Springs home goal. So if you know me, if you've been in the City Girl Savings community a while, you know that I have a life goal to own a second home in Palm Springs. And I want to say back in 2018 or 2019, I opened an investment account through Betterment or an investment goal, if you will, to start saving for this home. And I decided to use investing as a means to reach this goal because I knew it was going to take me a while. This is not something that I thought I could achieve in the next 2 or 3 years. I was thinking, okay, probably 5 to 10 years is more realistic, probably closer to 10. So why not invest that money and get some good returns over the course of 10 years so that, I have the biggest down payment possible. So that's just an idea. The longer out or further out your goal is, I should say, the better chances investing is going to be a way to help you reach that goal. Because investing is designed for you to get the most return over the longest period of time, for those longer term goals, investing can be a great option. The next sign you're ready to start investing is you have vowed to start educating yourself about investing. Please, please, please don't be the person who invests their money and has no idea what they're doing. Also, please don't be the person who follows trends. And I feel like crypto is a great point. There was a point in time where cryptocurrency like Dogecoin and meme coins and Shiba Inu, all these crazy cryptocurrencies were just booming. And, they were trading at, 1/10 of a penny. So all you needed was $100 and you could 10x, and, it was a whole thing. And, people made money. Let's kind of face the facts. People absolutely made money, but it was short-lived and it was temporary. It was fleeting. So someone may have invested $100 and turned it into $10,000, but then they took that $10,000 and invested again and lost it all. So if you don't know what you're doing and you want to start investing, make it a point to start educating yourself. Make it a point to be interested in trends, right? But don't just follow them willy-nilly thinking that it's going to be lucrative, because it may not. After that whole crypto boom busted, a lot of people lost a lot of money, and now nobody really talks about crypto like they used to. So a major sign that you are ready to start investing is you have already started educating yourself on how to go about investing, or you plan to start before you make your first investment. There are plenty of blogs, books, podcasts, YouTube videos, TV shows tailored to investing. If you are seriously considering investing for the long haul, you will want to educate yourself as much as possible. And, I'll be the first one to admit it's not super easy to understand, and I can go on a tangent because I think it's designed that way. It's designed to keep people in fear of not knowing and therefore not giving it a try. But even if a lot of the language seems foreign to you in the beginning, just like any other subject, just like any other topic, the more you familiarize yourself with it, the more it will make sense. And I interviewed Mark Russell from Better Wallet about how to start adding investing to your money goals. And he made a point in that episode, I'll link to it in the show notes, but he made a great point saying, you don't need to know everything about investing to get started. You just need to know a few things, right? So don't feel like you need to know it all. Nobody knows it all when it comes to investing. No one can predict the future. But make it a point to start putting yourself in positions and learning new things so that terms and vernacular that seems foreign now will become familiar to you. Also, I have an introduction to investing workshop. So it'll be a live virtual workshop happening soon. It's a live training where I teach you the most important things you need to know about investing, and a replay is included. If you can't make it live, or if you want to just keep it for your records for the future, I'll be sure to link to that in the show notes. All right, the final sign you are ready to start investing. You have looked at your budget and you know what you can afford to invest, okay? And this is the final sign for a very good reason. I saved the best for last. When you have your budget set and you know that after your bills, your goals, your priorities, a little bit of fun spending, your money is allocated to those things, and you see what you have left over, that leftover amount is what can be used to invest. When you know what you can afford to invest without impacting like your life, your bills, those things, you don't have to worry about investing too much money and not having enough for bills or life. So make sure you do a thorough review of your budget and numbers to decide on an appropriate amount to invest every pay period or every month. Even if you have to start small, it's absolutely okay and it's totally worth it. Once you have all of these financial ducks in a row that I discussed, you're ready to start investing. So go ahead, bite the bullet, get started. Pick your platform, set up your recurring deposit, pick your investments. I will say you can't go wrong with ETFs, which are exchange traded funds. So do some research, pick a few of those. The S&P 500 is a good one to follow and reference, but you're ready. So here's to building real wealth.